Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Virtual Chemistry Labs. So today what we have is 4 grams of copper 2 sulfate. This is a blue crystal. It's obviously in the solid phase, so there's 4 grams of that. We also have 3 grams of table salt, a white crystalline solid. We have some aluminum foil, right, highly malleable. It can be pounded into sheets. It's silver in appearance. It's a solid. I can tear it as well. And we also have some 25 milliliters of water here. Okay. So what we're going to do first is we're going to make a solution of copper 2 sulfate. So we're going to put the copper 2 sulfate in our beaker, and we're going to add 25 milliliters of water. And we're going to get that copper 2 sulfate in solution. As you can tell, it's not highly soluble. So I'm going to need to agitate these molecules. I'm going to swirl it. And this is going to take me a while, but you can see that we are making a bluish solution. So that copper sulfate is getting into solution. Okay. Once again, you must think about things like, is this pure? Is it impure? How do I know? You can see that we're getting more and more of that solid into the liquid phase, right, into solution. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is we are going to take our sodium chloride, and we're going to take that 3 grams, and we are going to add that to our copper sulfate solution. And once again, I'm going to swirl that around. All right, so now we have a solution of copper sulfate and sodium chloride dissolved in water. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to use a thermometer to record my initial temperature here. So I'm going to make sure that thermometer doesn't tip over. I'm going to try to avoid that as best I can. And I'm going to record the temperature of the solution before I add my aluminum foil. Okay, and this is the idea today. We want to see what's going to happen when we add this aluminum foil to this solution. Is it a chemical change? Is it a physical change? Is there no change at all? Okay. So my initial temperature at time 0 is around 22 Celsius. Now that probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you because we use Fahrenheit, but I'll let you do the math on that one. I'm not going to convert it in my head to Fahrenheit. Let's see, that's 22 Celsius. All right, so now comes the part where we're going to take this aluminum foil, we're going to wrap it into a ball. So once again, this is a physical property, right? It's very malleable. I can't do this with other metals like lead and copper will not do that for me. Okay, not as easy anyway. All right, so I'm going to drop my aluminum foil in my solution, and I'm going to record what the temperature is every minute. And I'm noting any observations here. Let's see if we can get this. Can you see any changes, any observational changes here? Okay, in our first minute, our temperature is 24 degrees, so we had a little climb on this by 2 degrees. Right, and once again, make some observations. I'm starting to see a brownish, almost a brick color substance forming. It looks like rust that's forming on the aluminum foil here. I'm also feeling that the bottom of the beaker is a little bit warmer than it was before I started. My temperature right now is 25 Celsius, so I only climbed up a degree. Seeing a lot of bubbling going on. I'm going to try to get that into the camera view here. You can see some bubbling forming around the aluminum foil. We can see a dark reddish substance forming there as well. And at 3 minutes, my temperature now is 28 Celsius. The bottom of the beaker is warm to the touch. I can definitely feel that heat is being generated, and I'm getting more and more of that brownish substance forming on my foil. A lot of students that have done this lab have told me it looks like rust. It looks like the aluminum is dissolving. You can see the brown chunks right in there. You see that where the thermometer is pointing to? You can see that. And we no longer have this clear blue solution. We have this sort of a greenish, murky color going on here. Okay, I'm a little past 4 minutes here. And now I'm up to 31 Celsius. We'll do it for 1 more minute. And my last minute, I am up to 33 Celsius. So as you can see from our data here, at time initial, before we started with the aluminum foil, our temperature was 22 Celsius. And as we let time pass on, in our 5th minute, we've climbed 11 degrees. And I can tell you from experience that doing this lab many times, this sometimes gets into the 40s and low 50s if we give it enough time. All right. Before I end the video, what I'd like to show you is when students do this in class, I have them pour this waste, all of it, into a waste bin. And what I've done is I take that waste and I filter it using a funnel. And what you might see is you can see the reddish brown substance that we made is right there in the filter. So those particles are too large to go through the filter paper, so they get trapped based on their size, right, physical property. And what percolates through this funnel here, what comes through is the solution. You can see that that's now clear. So this is definitely not a pure substance if I can physically remove contents from it. All right, guys, I'll have some questions with this in a little bit, and I'll see you next time.